leadership is not about titles, it is about impact, influence, and inspiration. Thank you, Dr. Pani sir, for your valuable words of vision and wisdom for the future of open and distance learning. And also, you focus that the contribution of open and distance learning is enormous in achieving the fourth goal of sustainable development, that is to provide the quality education to all. May I now request Dr. Madhura A.S. to introduce our distinguished guest of honor, Dr. B. Shadrach, Director, Commonwealth Educational Media Center for Asia, CEMCA, New Delhi.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so privileged and feel elated to introduce you all, our chief guest and our guest of honor, Professor B. Shadrach. Professor B. Shadrach is currently serving the Commonwealth Educational Media Center for Asia, shortly CEMCA, as its director. CEMCA is the regional center of Commonwealth of Learning, Canada, and is an intergovernmental organization in the status of United Nations agencies recognized by the Indian government that hosts the center in New Delhi. In this position, he oversees programs that enhance quality learning and access to education and skill development in Asia. He also serves on the Global Steering Committee of the Global Partnership of Artificial Intelligence. He is also an international alumni ambassador for his alma mater, Loughborough University, UK. In his career since 1986, he has managed ICT 4D and lifelong learning programs in over 40 nations around the world. He held senior management positions at the British Council India, Transparency International Germany, One World International UK, and the Telecenter Organization Foundation Philippines, and he was an Ottawa appointed.
So you can stop here.
Okay. Yeah, the list goes on and on. Since Professor is asking me to condense it, I'll just conclude it, sir, with few lines. While managing the Building Communication Opportunity BCO Alliance in Asia in 2004, Dr. Shadrach launched Ek Dunya Anek Awaaz, a unique community radio initiative and a multi-stakeholder alliance of over 600 organizations that advocated for achieving the MDGs in South Asia in partnership with multilateral donor organization. As the global head of Telecenter Organization Academy in 2009, he developed a unique training ecosystem for equipping grassroots level knowledge workers. During his 37-year-long professional life, Dr. Shadrach has also consulted for UNESCO Germany, FCDO UK, ITU Geneva, ADB the Philippines, UNDP Iraq, Practical Action UK, the Open University UK, Article 19 UK, and the ICT Agency of Sri Lanka. So, without further delay, please join me in welcoming Professor B. Shadrach as our chief guest today. Thank you, everyone.
Importance of today is this conference organized by the Karnataka State Open University. Congratulations, Professor Halse, for organizing this with the able support and leadership provided by Dr. Nagarajan. Dr. Amarendra Pani, the Joint Director at the AAU. Professor Sanjay Tiwari, the Vice Chancellor. From the university's name I am yet to grasp, from Chhattisgarh. Professor K.S. Rangappa from the Karnataka, the former Vice Chancellor of Karnataka State Open University and also former Vice Chancellor of University of Mysore. And all our colleagues, distinguished personalities gathered here. First of all, my congratulations to the Karnataka State Open University for achieving the #1 status amongst the state open universities in NIRF ranking. Although they stood #2 in NIRF ranking, but literally I feel that they are #1 because oftentimes it's difficult competing with a national university such as IGNOU. So amongst the 17 state open universities, Karnataka stood first under the able leadership of Professor Halse and all the faculty members here. So you should be really proud of what you have achieved. Secondly, I would also like to, although it's some time now, the achievement of the NAC score of 3 plus is anything really big. And in your case, it's A plus, which has really opened up doors for you to start numerous online programs. And I can see that the Karnataka State Open University is really multidisciplinary with this opening of at least 10 programs in the online mode. I think you've become really global and your reach is enormous. And no doubt that you have already an enrollment of 1 lakh students, which is actually a huge number as compared to the 40 lakh students in the open and distance education mode. In the country, we have about 40 million students in the tertiary education system. In other words, it's about 4 crore, of which 40 lakh plus come from the ODL system. And interestingly, 1 lakh such learners are from Karnataka itself. Although the number as compared to 4 crore might sound to be a bit small, for the fact that 66 colleges exist in Karnataka for 1 lakh students. For every 1 lakh students, there are 66 colleges in Karnataka. So the higher education, tertiary education institutions density in Karnataka is the highest in the country. And there was a reference to Maharaja Udayar. I think Maharaja Udayar has done a tremendous service, similar to many other Maharajas, Sarboji and the Tanjavur Maharaja, the Maharaja of Baroda and others, who liberated education for the masses. Soon after, William Carey and Raja Ram Mohan Rai, who fought for the library and literacy movement and the education movement to be put in the hands of the common people. The first people who responded were the Maharajas, and no doubt this Maharaja of Udayar has tremendously contributed to the education system in the country. Now there was also this reference to Nelson Mandela since this morning. And if you go to Cape Town, go to the Robben Islands, where Nelson Mandela was imprisoned for so many decades, you would find a huge photograph as you enter the Robben Islands, just to go and visit this prison. There will be a tall prisoner coupled with a short prisoner. This was the strategy of the oppressors to ensure that a tall person was coupled with a short person so that they never coordinate action. So when it comes to the ODL programs, it's something like this. You know, you have the tall personalities all around, but you also have these short personalities, or the ones who are missed out in the mainstream, or the second chance education seekers, or even the first generation education seekers. A lot of them throng to the open and distance learning system. So the responsibility, many of you as the faculty members of KSOU and the regional centers and the learner support centers and others, your responsibility is to bring that short person to the tallest position so that they could also coordinate action, something that the oppressors never wanted to happen. Now you are doing a stellar service in terms of really creating opportunities for a large number of students. And today it's just a lakh, although 1 lakh is a huge number. It equals 66 colleges in your state. But in the very near future, you are likely to encounter a variety of possibilities, particularly with the online systems that are emerging. The idea of open and distance learning is evolving to online and digital learning, and with NAC A+ rating and the possibilities that KSOU has, you can go really, really big in terms of embracing and putting out a number of courses, particularly that are aligned to the employability and skills orientation. Today's learner, as was mentioned by Dr. Pani just now, is a very smart learner, a learner who has a lot of opportunities to access learning material. And here is where we seem to have an opportunity to make the difference. The difference is largely in terms of bringing in courses and programs that are aligned to the best next thing that the person would want to do. And today, the best next thing every young person in our country would like to do is to be an entrepreneur or a owner of a self-business or an employment seeker. And in a state like Karnataka, where their possibilities are high, you have an immense potential and opportunity to put out numerous short-term courses and so on. Now, with the help of the Commonwealth of Education Learning, the Regional Center Commonwealth Education Media Center for Asia, KSOU is likely to become one of the awarding bodies of NCVET, which means you are creating programs under the UGC guidelines, but also allowed by UGC, you would also be able to create courses and programs and short-term training programs for the large number of individuals who would like to benefit. And KSOU could be a champion in a variety of areas. Just last week, the Kerala Skill Development Corporation and the Minister released the Kerala Skill Development Policy and their outlook for year 2032, in which they notably highlight a variety of areas where it could be really, really relevant. And the relevance of KSOU is very well underscored. So the students today choose open learning systems not because they don't have other options. Once upon a time, the ODL system used to attract the second chance or the first generation learners or the second chance learners. But today the ODL system is primarily sought after by the first class learners. For reskilling, upskilling and skilling, people are looking at open systems where they have no other opportunities. A lot of names were mentioned by Dr. Pani, and I am sure University of Mysore and Karnataka State Open University could also mention a lot of alumni. Jahavil Srinath, N.R. Narayana Murthy, to Akhilesh Yadav, to R.K. Lakshman. A variety of people have passed out of your system. And I note that KSOU also collects a nominal fee, alumni fee. And it's very important for us to strengthen the alumni network and demonstrate what the alumni could do, because in the skilling ecosystem, it's not just the professors, it's the allied alumni and those well-wishers, those who are partners of the open systems are going to add value. And as faculty members, not only we should be proud that we are catering to a large number of students, you are also catering to a large number of the workforce, the future workforce, which should be, interestingly, every sixth person working individual in the world is going to be an Indian, and a large number of them could emerge from the Karnataka State Open Universities. Finally, I would like to close by stating my own personal experience. When I was a young boy, a student in a school, the only university that I became familiar with was the University of Mysore, ICC-CE, which is the correspondence course continuing education section. And you may wonder, somebody who grew up in a place called Salem in Tamil Nadu, how did I first hear about not University of Madras, but University of Mysore? Largely because of the predecessor of KSOU, which promoted continuing education. After the Kothari Commission report, a large number of open systems came into play. And my own parents, both my father and mother, they were the graduates of University of Mysore correspondence course in the early 70s. And they were teachers, they were running a school, But they took up this opportunity that the University of Mysore offered in terms of elevating the pitch. They wanted to be relevant, they wanted to enhance their academic esteem, their social esteem. They also wanted to get promoted to a senior position, claiming the TGT kind of a salary and PGT salary. So there came University of Mysore to their rescue. And as a young boy, I used to see them actually study, go through the material, and also attend the contact programs. So you have a large number of alumni, you have a large number of industries, you have a large number of partners in the system. You also have the NCVET's approval very shortly. So with this conference, I think you can make a new beginning. Now, 1964, Kothari Commission opened up ODL. Now, perhaps the 2010 policy and the state versions of these policies which are embarked upon by certain states and the state skill development policy, all these allow you to think for the future in terms of the evolving ODL, which is open learning, online digital learning systems. So I once again congratulate Dr. Nadaraja for putting up such a strong show and for recommencing the tradition of organizing international conferences after 12 full years. Congratulations, Kate.